Hey guys, it's Spider-Pig here, and today I'm really excited because we're going to be flying a lot of different modules with the Oculus Rift CV1 and DCS 2.0.2, which has the coolest new interface on it, and we'll talk about different things. Now, before I start, I'd like to say that I'm going to be kind of judging these modules based on a couple things. So, one, is it improved since the last version, DK2 version, basically. Basically, I'm looking for, is the HUD readable? Can I read the MFDs? Can I read, if I look down at the cockpit, if it's a clickable cockpit, can I see what I'm clicking on easily? Things like that. I'm also looking, and I know it's kind of a weird thing, but to see if it has a pilot, because when you don't have the pilot body, it kind of takes away from the virtual reality feel of it. So it is kind of, I don't know, I think it's a little important to have a pilot body in there. And overall, I'm going to see how, how she feels to fly with the Oculus Rift, and how, you can see objects around you, things like that. I do have a kind of a test range set up, so we can go ahead and drop some ordnance on, on that range. I have about 50 targets there. We'll any aircraft I know how to kind of deploy weapons with, I will do that, and we'll kind of see what it is. But let's go ahead and get started. And let me start recording here. Okay, so it's starting to record, and let me just click on, I have to click on this thing over here, hold on. Alright, so now we're in the new interface for DCS. Now, before in DCS, you just had this kind of, this screen right here, and it was a lot smaller. Basically, it was very simple. Now we seem like we're in a hangar with a huge aircraft here. I don't recognize it. I think it's a MiG-29. I don't recognize my Russian aircraft as well, but it's a really big hangar, and that's all you gotta know. And so, in order to kind of select things with the new system, there's this white dot, and I don't know if you can see the white dot or not, but you basically, over here, you basically look at what you want to click, and then you click on it. So I'm gonna go here to mission and click on it using, so this is both good and bad, because once we're in the cockpit, instead of a white dot, you have like this kind of line. It's a yellow line, and when you hover above something that's clickable, it turns green, which is good and bad, because the bad part is when you're looking outside the window, there's nothing to click. You still see that white line there, so it kind of takes a little bit away from it. But overall, this is something, that can be worked on in the future with the simulator, so I'm not too worried about it. But it is kind of, something I have to kind of take into account right now. The other thing is, before I get started, I did just receive yesterday my kind of gaming chair enhancer here. There's a guy named Andre on the forums, and he sells this, it's sort of like, you think of like a massage chair thingy, and it hooks into DCS using this application called Sim Shaker. So when you fly different aircraft, it kind of vibrates in different things. So like when you're on the ground and taking off, you kind of feel the vibration, things like that. If you want, I'll do a full review on it another time. It's just so if you hear weird noises coming from my chair, that's the motors running on that thing. So let's get started. I'm going to click on blue, and I have a whole bunch of jets here and aircraft here. We'll start with the A10, and we'll see where that goes. Let me just make sure everything's still recording okay. Everything's fine. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is recenter myself, and hopefully I can do that right now. And I find that with the A10, it centers you really close in here. And let me just kind of go back here. Actually, there we go. Seems a little bit off center, but hold on. There we go. So there we go. So with the A10, I do have to kind of adjust myself a little bit, and let me click on fly here. So let me see if I can click on the weapon systems here. It is a little weird to click with this looking thing, so let's select the Mavericks, and let's go to TGP, and let's put this one in MAV mode. Alright, let's put it into air to ground mode. Now the MFDs are a little bit hard to read, not as bad as it was before. I still can't read the text on it very well, and I don't know if that's fixable in any kind of capacity at this point. I think there might have to be some kind of code change in order to make that happen with the text. But all right, let me just select the target here. All right, and let's just go to the Mavericks, and let's go ahead and slew that. And now we gotta wait. So while we're waiting, the cockpit does look amazing. A lot better than in the DK2. The gauges are a lot more readable. Everything's a lot more readable. Now, looking around at the cockpit, I can't read the text on the actual cockpit itself. So I want to see if there's any tooltips. There's no tooltips either. So, like, unless you know the cockpit by heart, it's not going to help. The CDU, I mean, you can actually see it pretty well. A lot better than before. So it is a little more readable. MFD is a little hard to read. Other than that, it's not bad. Not bad at all. So let me go ahead and... Alright, we got that. We're almost in range here. Make that black so I can see it a little better. The HUD also is very easy to read. Not that bad. Some of the smaller text is a little hard to read. Let me actually move the chair up. Alright, there we go. It's a little better. Alright, I'm locked on, and there we go. Now with the chair, just as you know, I can actually feel it when it releases the Maverick. So rifle, and rifle. So alright, let's go ahead and we're gonna see if we can select. Again, I'm looking. Let me see if I can just do it this way. See, what happened was the other thing is, because the window's so much smaller, if you click somewhere outside the DCS window, it goes out of it, so you can't click on anything. So let me go ahead. It's a smaller inconvenience. Hopefully they'll fix it so you can make it full screen. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can program. Nope. Profile. There you go. So that way I can release all 4 of them at once. I think I'm over the target area now, so let's take a look. Nope, it's back there. Okay. The other thing is, when you're in the Oculus Rift, you kind of get the sense to feel how big the aircraft is, which is kind of neat, because you don't really get a sense of that, you know, when you're flying, when you're zooming in, zooming out. Just looking outside, everything looks pretty nice. We will eventually go for a gun run in this thing, and I'll be able to tell how, you know, distant objects are. But I can see Lake Mead, I don't think that's Lake Mead, or whatever that lake is, pretty well. And I can see, you know, right now I can see Las Vegas pretty well. I can see Nevada, I mean, I can see the, was it Nellis Air Force Base pretty well here. We'll turn around, we'll get some altitude, turn around, we'll go ahead and drop those CBUs. 97s. Programming it wasn't too hard, but then again, I know exactly what I'm looking for. If I go in about this close, I can actually read things very easily. Let me just pick a point there. So at this point, I can see the smoke. I can't actually make out the targets at this point from this range. Now they're starting to come into view a little bit. So it's a lot better than it was before with distant objects. Let's put our CCRP mode. And then after that, we will go in for a couple gun runs. Now the gun runs I'm looking forward to because the chair thing should shake quite a bit when I fire the gun, so I'm looking forward to that. Let me actually see if I can. Yeah, so I'm deploying chaff right now, and I can feel the chair vibrating. It's actually pretty cool. But overall, the gauges look a lot better, which is nice. Oh yeah, I felt that. Alright, so all the weapons are now deployed. And let me roll her. Alright, let's switch to guns. We'll head back to Nellis a little bit and then come back and do some gun runs here if anything's still alive down there. There's the racetrack. Now from up here, I don't see anybody racing. I think you have to be a little closer. I do have everything set on medium. So, setting wise, I feel that's right now it's just kind of the better one. I'll try high a little bit later, but I think medium for right now is fine. So let's we'll turn around here and Nellis. Actually, go a little further down, and then we'll do some couple gun runs. Overall, the aircraft itself looks beautiful. Inside, I mean, it's definitely a lot sharper than it was with the DK2 version, so very happy about that. Wow, I don't know if there's any targets left there, but I will look. Get my TGP back up here. I don't think there's anything left here. Alright, we'll still go for... Oh, there's one. Okay. Put it actually into, I believe... Okay. So it is kind of hard to see because of the color and Nevada being what it is. But here we go. Oh, yeah. There's a good vibration on the chair here. I think I'll missed that one. Alright, so we'll go ahead, come down here, turn around. We'll do another gun run, and then we'll go over to the next plane. Overall, A10, not bad looking. You know, wish I could read some of the switches a little better, but I think overall, you know, if you update the cockpit model, I think to make it a little sharper, I think that might help. I'm sure ED's working on something, because obviously they put a lot of care into making it a lot more fun in the Oculus Rift here. Okay, let's... that's a... Whew. I gotta stretch for that. That's what I love about it, because you can, you know, look up. You can look up all around. Trek IR, you really can't do that. All right, one more gun run, and then we'll switch airplanes, because we got a lot of airplanes to fly today, and helicopters too. Let's not forget the helicopters. Gotta give love to the rotor heads. All right, that's good. So. Okay, so let me switch over here. Keyboard's over here. Alright, let's switch over to the next aircraft, which I believe is the F-15. Yep, it's the F-15. So, with the F-15 and the DK2 version, let me make sure everything's still recording. Yep, okay. In the F-15 and DK2 version, the one thing I found was that I couldn't read the HUD, because like I had to close one eye. Now, noticeably right off the bat, I can read the HUD very easily. And she's looking very nicely. I can read things a lot better than actually the A10, I have to say. Oh, hold on. Wrong thing. I'll try to use my, there we go. Turn on the radar. MFD-wise, I still can't really read the weapons loadout very well. I can see the radar screen somewhat okay. I've locked on to some target over there, I think. Oh, hold on. Now I have the 120 selected, I believe. Alright, so I see the friendlies. We just fly over there, we just kick the afterburner in. Now, with this one, the chair's doing a lot more vibrating. I told it to, when I pull G's, to vibrate harder, so I will actually be able to feel the G's here. I'm going to get a little higher because I'm a little low. And the other thing I noticed just flying is how big this aircraft is. It is a huge aircraft compared to the A-10. So it is really cool kind of to see the size of it. Alright, let's go ahead and lock on a target here. We're going to be merging here very quickly. Let's go ahead, I'm going to kick in the afterburner, see if we can actually merge here. At this point, I still can't see the target, and he's 8 miles away. I'm going to look at the range and kind of see when I can see him. So right now we're 7 miles away. Still don't really see him. And again, that could be a setting up. Now I just finally see the impact at 5 miles. Let's see if I can unhook him. See if I can see where his friends are. Well, they're right there. That's just it. Okay. There we go again. And this guy is 3 miles away. If I don't hit him, I'll try to merge with him. Nope, I hit him. Alright, let's see. Next guy. Over there. Let me see if I can just get close to this. Yep, that's the debris. Should be 5 guys here, so hold on. Let me get altitude again. But overall, she feels really great to fly. Gauges wise, I can read the gauges. I can actually read the cockpit switches a lot better, although in this case they don't really do anything, so it doesn't help that I can read them. But the only really thing is the MFD for the weapons is harder to read. But overall, if I come in this close, I can read it okay. The chair makes a really good vibration with this aircraft. I'm going to see if I can actually just fly formation with one of these F-15s here, just real quickly. This should be close enough. Now, what I'm really enjoying is that the fact that the HUD is really readable, and I don't have to close one of my eyes to read it, because that was a big problem before, where I couldn't. I basically had to close one eye. It kind of made the F-15 unusable with the DK2, and yeah, he's 9 miles out. But overall, the cockpit looks great. The only thing I'd really like in here would be a body. And I know it's probably one of the things I'm going to harp on a lot today. But I'm sure there's probably a mod. I do have the settings checked if there's a body available to put them in here. So hopefully, you know, I'll see if there's a mod to put a body in here, because I think it adds to the realism. Like, I feel really weird not having a body. And alright, we'll probably will merge with this guy, but let me see if I can slow down here, because we're still getting a little faster. But overall, the cockpit, I can see the whole cockpit really nicely. You know, like, in order to look around, I have to kind of really stretch. You know, with the truck eye, you don't really get the real, you know, looking behind you kind of motion. At this point, 3 miles away, I still really can't see him. Let me unlock him. Oh, there I can see him. So he's about, yeah. Let me get closer and see if I can kind of fly formation with him. Yeah, this chair kind of makes the F-15 fly a lot more realistic here as far as the vibrations and things like that. go. Okay, that's pretty cool. Alright, so we're gonna switch over to the next aircraft here in a second. Let me just see if I can see these guys. Just fly a little formation with this. If I can. I'm not very good with the F-15 just yet. I don't fly her that often. That was pretty fun. Alright, so let's go over to the next jet. F-15 overall, not bad. Alright, choose slot. Next one is the F-86. F-86 seems like I'm far away. Let me see if I can center it. There we go. Well, let me do that. Okay, seems like again no body. Let me make sure everything's still recording. All right, no body is kind of a weird thing. So I didn't check this thing. Okay, yeah, no body is kind of a weird thing. And I'll probably just keep mentioning that a lot, but okay. So cockpit looks nice. Gauges are readable, and you know, I can't. It's an unclickable. Is it clickable cockpit? Yeah, it is clickable. Some of the text isn't as readable as I like it to be. The angles here are rarely readable, but they always were, and the old one as well. Feels like I'm a little low. But let me see if I can recenter myself like this. Hold on. There we go. So let's go ahead and just do some maneuvers here and just fire the guns. Well, that feels awesome. Again, the chair's really shaking right now. There we go. I don't know if I can hit anything. But let's go over Vegas with this thing. And let's do some maneuvers and see how she feels. Let's take a look at the racetrack here. Overall, I mean, she's a lot of... I don't fly her very often, so I don't know how to fly her that well. But she's very nimble. Let me just kind of... We'll fly over Vegas real quickly. We'll do some... maybe a loop or two. And see how she feels. Overall, gauges, not bad to read. The seating position is a little bit off. I feel like I'm way back. You know, and again, that's in a programming. The center of the body has to be a little different. So that would just have to be programmed. I think maybe a way I could fix it. I don't know. But it does feel like a little awkward sitting this way back. I feel like I would have to sit back like this and recenter myself. Let's see if I can do it. To be closer, yeah. So now I'm a little closer, which is not bad. But yeah, it's a centering issue. Not too bad. Again, no pilot, which I'm going to go ahead and say it's a big negative in my view. Again, there's probably a way to put one in, but by default, it didn't come with a pilot, so points off for that. Alright, let's fly here in Vegas. Let's get rid of some gambling debts. Let's see if we can do a loop here. View looks amazing. Alright, let's fly over the airport here. Overall, this is a real nice jet. I just don't get to fly very often, so besides firing the guns, I really don't know how to deploy anything or how to do anything with her. So we'll just turn around, do another little quick run at Vegas, get rid of more gambling debts, and you know. I'm out of guns. Let's do one more flyby, and then we'll switch over to the next aircraft. Overall, nice, nice module. Center of body could be, adjusted a little bit. Pilot would be nice. A little more readability, and the switches will be good as well. So, all right, let's switch over to the next module. Keep it moving today because we got a lot to go through. All right, next one is the 109. Another one I don't fly very often, but we'll see what we can do. Whoa, 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 okay, okay, okay. I don't have any control. Well, I don't have control. I don't know. Oh. I seem to have lost. I have. Okay, hold on. I don't have any joystick control. Let me see. Adjust the controls here. Cancel. Adjust controls. Side axes. Let's see. Pitch. Tune. It doesn't seem like it's plugged in. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay. My joystick got unplugged. So, minor technical difficulty. Might edit this part out in the video. We'll see. Okay. Okay. Now we're flying. Again, no pilot. And a weird looking seat as well. And this one, I do know something. Gauges are nice looking, by the way. Really kind of nice looking wood. Hard to read as far as like text and things like that. But the gun sight is off again. So like I have to close one eye in order to kind of see with the gun sight. In fact, I'm going to see if I can turn her off at all because it's just really annoying. Okay, let's just do a couple quick things in here. Ooh, okay. I can't even roll her down now. Wow. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Let's roll her. Well, okay. Overall, nice body as far as the cockpit goes. Really cool feel. I wish, again, there was a pilot in here. And overall, not bad. Everything's readable. Let's see if I can just fire the flare gun here. Whee! Feels like my head's going to hit whatever this thing is up here as well. Seems like a very cramped cockpit here. Let's just do another gun run at this. It's really hard to pitch down. And I don't know if it's just me, but yeah, whatever. Oh, you really gotta put her down a little bit to kind of shoot everything on the ground. There you go. Like the model looks it's nice outside. All right, I mean, again, just a quick little flight with this thing. I don't know how to use it very well, so All right, let's switch over to the next aircraft. Alright, so the next one we're going to do is a KA-50 here. And just off the bat, cockpit looks amazing. Hold on, let me just center myself this way. I like the fact that there's a pilot in here. I think it looks really nice. The vibration of the chair is really cool. I can actually really just nicely make out what the neat part is. The text is not that bad to read on the cockpit. The Abris is a little bit hard to read, but overall not bad. So let's go ahead and take off and just try a couple different things here. I do know how to fire the weapon systems on this thing, so let's see what I can do here. There we we get the gears up. Alright, let's move a little forward here. So the racetrack is over there. Woo! Okay. Just make sure the autopilot's still working. Alright, so let me just trim her out a little bit. Let me see if I can see something. Alright, there's a target right there. Let me see if I can lock onto it. Master arm switch needs to be on. There we go. Let me see if I can go ahead and fire. I don't know if I'm close enough. I should be close enough. Oh, it wasn't locked onto anything. There we go. What am I missing? Oh, laser rangefinder. Oh. Alright, hold on. Let me hover. Actually, I need to get it further out again. And then we'll try this again. I don't fly the K50 that often, so bear with me here. But yes, I mean, the cockpit looks really nice. Really beautifully done with the Oculus Rift. I would be inclined to probably fly her more now because of the way she looks. Alright, let's see if I can hover her now. Alright, let's turn on the... Just pick up... There we go, now we have... There we go. I missed. That's okay. Yeah, so overall, she's really nice. I have to say, I'm really impressed at how well she's modeled in here with the with CV1. She's really fun to fly. I will actually have to spend some more time with her, learning her systems, because she's really nice looking. The A-brace, again, is a little bit off, hard to read, but overall, not bad. And the fact that there's a palette in here, I'm really happy about that. Alright, let's move on. Make sure we're still recording. Good. Everything's good. Alright, now we're finding L39. There we go. So the sight looks a little bit off, but overall, gauges not that bad. I like the fact there's a pilot here. Text is a little hard to read, but overall, she looks nice. Let me go ahead and kind of just do some flybys here. We'll buzz the racetrack. Let me do a loop or two. Let's see if we can loop her now. I like the L-39 as an acrobatic kind of flyer. I haven't really learned how to deploy the weapon systems on her yet. So, as an acrobatic flyer, she's a lot of fun. And in the CV1, she's amazing. Again, if I knew how to start her up, I probably could. But I don't. I mean, reading the switches is kind of hard. I don't know why there's no tooltips either. If they had tooltips, maybe it'd be a little better. But let's just go ahead and buzz Las Vegas real quick, and then we'll move on to the next aircraft here. Overall, I think the L-39 is a great aerobatic aircraft. I love her. And the fact that you can sit in the back. Let me see if I can actually switch to the back seat here. Hold on. There we go. Now we're in the back seat. Whoa. It's actually pretty cool. I don't usually fly from the back seat, but back seat's really nice too. I like that there's a pilot back here as well. Switch back to the front seat. There's the houses all over the place. Okay, so we're almost in Vegas. We'll just buzz Vegas here, and then we'll go ahead and switch aircraft. Overall, not bad module. I will definitely have to do some more aerobatic flying in this thing. Ooh, okay. Very fast too. Alright, so there we go. Let me switch over to next aircraft. MI8. Alright. So before anybody gives me any grief, I turned on the fan. Alright. The cockpit looks pretty big. Looks like readable. I can't seem to flick the main hub up there, and now I lost my thing altogether. I think the problem with this one is, yeah, you would tend to kind of lose the window altogether. Yeah, it's hard to click anything up there, and I think I'm not in the window anymore. Let me minimize the other stuff in here. Okay, so let's just go flying. Alright, I don't know how to fly very well, so bear with me. Come on. Okay, not bad. She's definitely got a cool open cockpit, and the seat is like vibrating, like with the helicopters. It's really nice because it's constantly vibrating. Not bad at all. I just think if there was a way that I didn't lose my cursor, looking up here to click on things is really hard because I have to really stretch my neck. So I'm hoping in the future we'll be able to use our mouse again, because that would be kind of nice as opposed to having to look everywhere. The look feature is not bad, but I constantly see the little thing over there. It is kind of distracting here and there. But overall, the module looks awesome. I wish I could fire some of her weapons, but I can't seem to activate anything, so I can't really do it. The text looks actually pretty legible if I could read Russian, but I can't. So, take it for what it is. You guys, well, she's not really moving. Alright, let's go ahead and see if I can land in the middle of the racetrack here. I do like the fact, again, that there's a body. That does help me a lot. It makes it feel a little more real. Okay, there's a... there you can feel that transition with this chair very well. Alright, I might hit some cars here, but we'll be alright. Ah, look, we landed. Look, I got a great parking spot. I mean, for a race day, you can't beat this parking spot. So MI8, overall, not bad. I wish I could reach the things up here a lot easier, but overall, she looked great. So let's go over to the next one. MI8, MiG 15. Alright, so MiG 15 right off the bat, I can tell that the gun sight thing is off again. Whereas I have to close one eye to kind of make it work. But let's see how she flies. Flying not bad. Let me see if I can fire the weapon systems. Oh, that feels great. She's got two different guns. One's like a cannon and one's a gun, and it feels great with the seat when it vibrates here. Gauges, not bad to read. If I could read Russian, I could probably understand. The switches are a little tough to see the text on, but again, that seems to be kind of an overall theme with most of these modules. And I think, again, there's something that in the future, when module designers build aircrafts, they're going to probably think more about that. And there might be a way to kind of make it look better. I don't know at this point. But let's go ahead and fire some stuff here. Scare the crap out of civilians here in Las Vegas. We'll go over, just do a quick flyby, then we'll see if we can do a loop or something. Again, gun sight's a little bit off. Gauge is good. Pilot being good. The center of the body is good. So, not bad. Alright, let's go ahead and see if we can loop her. I've never looped a MiG-15 before, so bear with me. It feels, very cramped here in the cockpit. This metal thing up here, I feel like it's like right on my head. So, and I don't know if we'll be able to do a whole full loop, but we'll find it out. I'm pulling. Alright, very good. So let me go ahead and do a gun run on the targets over here, and then we'll move over to the next module. If you're a MiG-15 fan, I'm saying it's good. The MiG-21, I couldn't get it working within the new alpha. I don't know if they updated it or not. That could just be they didn't update it, so I will have to check it out when I can. Alright, but overall, she's fun. Alright, let's switch over to the next aircraft here. Moving right along. Blue. The Mirage. Okay, let me make sure we're still recording. Still recording. Okay. So the Mirage was my favorite with the DK2, sorry. And the cockpit looks still good. I don't have a body, which again, I'm gonna keep harping on this, but I find that adds to the realism. So if you guys can add me a body with a mod, let me know. Alright, let me center myself. Text is really not easy to read as far as the switches. And I can read the numbers, I can read the things. The radar, let's go ahead and activate the radar here. Let's see if we can find some. There is, I can see a target up there. Let me lock that on. Go ahead and see if we can get out of afterburners here. We're 28. Oh, and I lost it. Yeah, let's not really worry about the weapon deployment here, but let's roll her. She's a lot of fun. She's a really nimble aircraft, and I do like that. Go ahead and just do a couple of maneuvers here. I do see some aircraft here. Let's see if I can lock onto one of them. Turn on the master switch. Yep. As soon as I turn on the master switch, and I don't know if it's just me. I don't fly the Mirage as much as I should. I love the way she flies though. Looks like the guns are on. But gauges wise, not bad. I mean, the one over here on the left is a little hard to read number wise. I think the numbers on the fuel a little bit hard to read. Yeah, the smaller gauges up here a little bit harder to read. Overall, though, not bad. Let me see. Just fire our whistles here. Whee! She does look amazing. I don't know. I mean, I feel like she's almost the same as the DK2 version, just a little bit sharper. I was hoping for a little more improved in the gauges, but overall, just a little disappointed. Again, no body. That's another big thing. But alright, let's switch on. Choose. Alright, P51. Let's see how she flies. Alright, nice looking body. I like the fact that it's got a knee board right there. Let's go ahead and just fire the guns here on this target. Switches, not bad. A little hard to read the text. Gauges, not bad. I can see the numbers very easily. So yeah, cockpit looks nice. Not bad at all. The gun sight might be a little bit off, I think. Yeah, the glass seems like a little bit off, but overall not bad. Like I'm not having a hard time hitting anything. Let's go ahead and do a loop. Let's go ahead and give the racetrack fans a little scare here. That's what you get for illegal parking. Ha ha ha. Not bad. I do like to fly the P-51. I find she's very nice little aircraft for aerobatics and things like that. I do tend to fly her just for fun. Never actually used her in a combat situation. But there's a new campaign for her. So I might have to look into that and just to see what she could do. But overall, she's a lot of fun to fly. Cockpit looks great. Again, I like the body. Gun sight might need a little tweaking, especially the glass. I think the sight itself is actually not bad. But you know, it's pretty cool. Let's see if we can fly upside down a little bit. Very cool. I like it. I think, you know, piston engine wise, she'll be my aerobatic aircraft, so it'll be a lot of fun. Alright, let's move over to the next aircraft. SU-25. Alright, SU-25, let's see if I remember how to turn on the... Oh, nope. Okay. Gotta remember which... That's the autopilot. That's ground, okay. I think I have to switch it on this thing. I didn't have the Electro, whatever that thing's called, mapped. So, bear with me here. Let's see if we can find some targets. Let me stabilize the camera. Oh, wrong one. Alright, let's find some targets here. Okay, and let's go see if we can fire at them. Cockpit, no pilot. Again, for me, that's a big thing. For you, maybe not. Okay, well, apparently that's the deal. Okay. Alright, there we go. Let's try this again. Oh, I'm not in range yet. Okay. Let's get a little closer. Let's see. Switches. Not that... A little bit hard to read. It's not a switchable cockpit, so don't really have to worry about that. The seat position seems like it's a little bit back. HUD is actually pretty good. I have no problem using the HUD, which is great. I think that's probably one of my bigger complaints for the older aircrafts and with the DK2. So I'm glad they really kind of fixed the HUD up on these things. And let's see, just get a little closer here. All right, and we'll just fire just the weapons. I don't know how to fire the guns. I think guns is C, so I'll have to switch over to that. Alright, pressing the trigger button. There we go. And overall, the electromagnetic or whatever that thing is, EEO, actually is not that hard to read. Pretty big and pretty nice. So let's go ahead and just loop her here. Overall, not bad. Could use a pilot, you know, and kind of could be a little more forward as far as center position, but overall, not bad at all. All right, let's move on to the next aircraft. So let's go. Oh. All right, my alarm was just going off here. Alright, so Huey, I feel like the body's just a little bit off. Let's see if I can fix that. Alright, that's good. See if I can hit the switches here. Again, if I hit them now, it's probably easier. Yeah, there we go. Alright, let's take off. Woo! Okay. There we go. Cockpit wise, not bad. Actually, easy to read most of the gauges. Yeah, not a bad thing. Cockpit wise, she's nice. There's a pilot, which I am a big fan of. Gauges are not bad to read. If I had to navigate, I could definitely do that. Co-pilot looks nice. Everything looks nice back there. So, the thing when you fly helicopters or any aircraft, you notice that there's no control indicator like normally helicopters have, and I think because that kind of takes away from the realism. But the fact that they have this annoying yellow line in front of me, yeah, I guess you have to deal with it. We'll see if I can hit that. Yep. Hit the truck. Hit the truck. Ah, I got close. Let's fly over to the range here. We'll fire some rockets, and then we'll fly back. Overall, I like the way she feels. I like the cockpit. I definitely could see myself spending some time in her. I definitely, yeah, I do like the Huey a lot. And oh, there goes all my rockets. So let's go ahead and find a place to land. Whoa. Good place to land right here. There we go. Nice little quick Huey flight. she's actually pretty fun. Cockpit's great. Got a body, which is great. Let me go ahead and switch to the next aircraft, which I believe we have 2 more. We're actually go back. I gotta go to the red side. Figure I gotta give the SU-27 a try here. Alright, SU-27 time. Alright, so SU-27 cockpit looks great. Unclickable anyway, but pilot looks amazing. I love the kneeboard. I love the gloves. Look at those fancy gloves. Let's go ahead and see if I can turn on the radar here. I'm a big fan of the EO on this thing. I like sneaking up on people and killing them that way. I don't know if there's any planes left. Let's get up at altitude. Dials, not bad to read. I'm just noticing now that the kind of artificial horizon on this one kind of looks a little fake. Kind of looks like it's definitely digital. Like the other ones felt, you know, like there were analog, you know, like an actual bubble in there. But this one just, I don't know, for some reason, just feels like a little fake. But that's all right. Turn around and see if there's any aircraft in the vicinity. I should just turn on the radar. I've been kind of learning to fly the SU-27, and I have to say I have a good appreciation of her. You know, I think she's very nice for Russian aircraft. I haven't spent too much time in Russian aircraft, if you couldn't tell already. So, seeing nobody's here, let me go ahead and just kind of do some low-level flying with her. I do have the seat kind of rumbling more when I pull more G's. So if I pull more, it actually, like, my right side right now is really getting a hell of a vibration. Let's see if I can turn the cannon on, just fire the guns a little bit. Alright, let's loop her. Very fun. Definitely an aircraft. The cockpit looks great, and you know, just everything looks really nice except for that artificial horizon, which is kind of the only thing I noticed. Cockpit center body is really nice. HUD is really great. You know, it's not a clickable body, so I can't kind of, you know, really complain about the fact that I can't read what the gauges say. So, plus it's in Russian, but you know, overall not bad. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and fly the Gazelle with the Oculus Rift CV1. Some of you know I've been working with Polychop on this thing, and she's amazing. So let's go ahead and take off. And since somebody was asking whether she can go over 200, let's go find out. There's 100. I'm pretty lightly loaded in this kind of scenario, otherwise you wouldn't want to try this. Because if you had a lot of TOW 3 missiles on you, not TOW, Hot 3 missiles, I always get that wrong. You would not be able to do this, but it wouldn't be safe for it. Okay, let's go ahead and there we go. We're over 200. Close. Alright, now we're over 200. Okay, there we go. It's possible. Alright, let me get altitude, and then we'll try doing a loop. That's right. I'm going to be crazy enough and try to do a loop. I'm going to try to keep the collective as high as I can without overstressing the engine here. Climbing. Vegas looks amazing as usual. Alright, let's get some forward speed. And in 3, 2, 1. And recover. Not bad. Let's turn around. Let's get some altitude again. Let's roll her. Cover. Let's get some altitude again. Do another loop here. Alright, here we go. That was good. Alright, so chicken loop, chicken roll. She can go over 200. I think that pretty much covers it all. Gauges look good. The text is a little small to read, but then again, most of the cockpits are like that at this point with the CV1. Overall, she's a lot of fun to fly, and you know, I'm definitely gonna have to look in flying a lot more helicopters now that the CV1's out. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So if you have any questions about any of these modules, any of them you want me to do a longer review on, or anyone that I missed, like I said, the MiG-21 wasn't working yet in 2.0.2, so I wasn't able to test it. If there's any other modules you want me to test more in depth, or if you want me to do a review about the GW908 seat that I got, which was a lot of fun to fly with and makes it a lot more realism. See if I can land on the H. And let me know. Leave a comment below. Overall, the CV1 I think is an incredible addition to the DCS world. The DCS guys have done an amazing job to incorporate the Oculus Rift in here. I think there's a lot of work that could still be done, especially with this pointing thing. And you know, it's a known thing on the forums, and you know, I think a lot of people are talking about it, and hopefully we'll get things fixed. If you're thinking about it, I think the CV1 is definitely a great choice, and you won't be disappointed. So let me just land here. So hope you guys enjoyed the reviews, and like I said, if you want anything else, let me know, and we'll see you guys around.